Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
This podcast is supported by FX's English teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Eric, what's the best season?
Good to be back, Tom. I go between autumn. Do you say autumn or fall?
Fall.
I go between fall, yeah. That and summer. Summertime, because I think it's better for everyone. Everyone's in a great mood. And I know if I'm cheating with this one, people are outside. There's festivals, there's carnivals, there's all this, outdoor activity. But then fall, for selfish reasons, I feel like my closet sort of expands. I get to use every single thing in my arsenal. You know what I mean? I can layer up, mix and match some fall colors with some spring and summer colors. So it's a toss up, man. If it's for going out and looking good, I say fall. If it's for just having a good time with some friends, being out there, 4th of July, all that, summertime.
No disrespect to DJ Jazzy Jeff. I'm going to go with spring. Spring,
Ooh.
Everything comes alive. The winter is in the rearview mirror. Everything just is more vibrant. You want to be outside. That 70 degrees, that 65 just hits so much harder in the spring than it does in the fall. Fall feels a little bit like I got the little bit of a impending doom of the winter coming because I don't know. I feel there's a little bit of blues there for me. It's like, oh man, right around the corner got winter. But then I was thinking you would go with winter because you got an amazing winter hat game. And so maybe you bust that out in the fall.
I busted out in the fall. I like the spring, but here's the issue with the spring, man. A lot of people are suffering in the spring. It's rainy. You know what I mean? It's damp. A lot of plans get canceled in the springtime, and then allergies. You got to think about that. Like a lot of people are just miserable. So I would say for the general pop, spring is up there. I agree, but you can get the same sort of weather and atmosphere in the fall that you would in the spring. I totally get the demise of the winter coming in the later weeks, but I don't know, man. But I get it. Spring's all right.
Spring's all right also for your New York Knicks in the playoffs. That's what that means.
Ooh. Talk that talk.
This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Tom Haberstroh.
And I'm Eric Adjepong.
Eric, welcome back. It's good to be back.
I'm back, baby. Good to be back, man. It's good to see you. I missed you. I missed seeing your face and Maze in the background. Commissioner Maze handling everything from the ones and twos. So yeah, man. Past couple of weeks have been great. Man, I missed out on being here for Restaurant Wars, but I definitely caught up with everything. Caught the pods with Kev as well. Man, you held it down, and I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah, this is a lot's going on right now in Top Chef. We just had our first winner, Shuai. He got his first win. Massimo's coming on strong, proving to be a real contender here. And Tristen was in the bottom for the first time in the entire season. He bleeds. He's human. I can't believe it. I thought this guy was a machine. And he scuffled a little bit here. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. Mm-hmm. You weren't here for Restaurant Wars, but I wanted to get your experience what it was like to see Tristen deal with the loss of a loved one, his father passing away, getting that news in the middle of Restaurant Wars. It's got to be one of the most memorable, emotional Top Chef moments in history of the show. Yeah. And wanted to get your thoughts on it and your views on Tristen Epps as a chef and as a competitor and as a human being, as we saw in that episode.
For sure. My condolences to him and his family for that loss. I can't imagine. I mean, losing a parent at any moment of your life is always traumatic and something that you remember. But to have it happen at such a pivotal time in your career, and it's on national television. Number one, man, I go back to him as a human. He the poise, man. He held himself like a professional when he didn't have to. But I think if he broke that chain, so to speak, in the line of chefs that he was working with for Restaurant Wars, who's to say how much that team would have crumbled? I think they rallied around him. I think they wanted to do it for him, and his family, and just another sort of shining moment for Tristen. Man, he's a fantastic chef. Obviously, we've seen that over the past few weeks. But he also, man, is just the more and more I watch him, the more and more I fall in love. And this was just another sort of, opportunity to really sort of dive into his personality, which I love about Top Chef. Not in these really dramatic moments, but there's no other show on television, at least cooking competition or any competition, that goes so deep into these chefs' personal lives. We saw Schwei talking to his wife and having a really tender moment with that as well, or reading from his wife's note. So I got to give it up to Tristen, man. Professional, poised, put out great food, and really gave a moment for all of us to remember in Top Chef history.
Yeah, certainly, no doubt. That Tristen, that episode, it seemed like even during it, I didn't know what was the right thing to do. You just follow your heart, and if you kind of feel like your father wanted you to do this, it's hard to know, and hard to grapple with all of those crazy emotions. But the fact that he pulled it together and performed well as the executive chef in Restaurant Wars, the team was, it was Vinny, Lana, and Massimo came together for Tristen, and they won that episode, and there was a Goodfellas reference in there, and man, he is Tristen. He's a gangster, dude. He is really, really impressive. And we talked to Buddha last week. If you haven't listened last week, to all the listeners out there, we talked to Buddha about Tristen, and he's super impressed. So not just us fans, laymen who are watching this show, I think he is really impressive in the chef community as well. So shouts to Tristen. So the game is the game. We've got Last Chance Kitchen, and we got Cesar back into the fold. Tristen in the bottom of the quickfire, and in the bottom for the he was in the top in the wait, do I have this mixed up? I was looking at the last week's notes. Yeah, Tristen was in the bottom of this one in the quickfire, and the bottom in the elimination challenge. I'll say right off the bat, because I don't think you watched the Last Chance Kitchen tournament to get back into this thing, but I will for the audience do a quick recap here. Katiana got 3 straight wins, and she looked poised to re-enter into the competition. Tom Colicchio goes up and he says, we're going to do a 2 out of 3, and the first one is going to be kind of a stunt double. Eric, have you ever had to coach a chef without being able to touch the food, and the chef, you weren't able to communicate back and forth? Katiana chose Kat Turner to help her to cook her food, Katiana's food, but Katiana could not touch anything, and she could not even use a utensil and eat the food to taste it. Kat and Cesar did it with Corwin. Kat had to feed Katiana with a spoon whenever she wanted to taste the food. Same with Corwin, with Cesar. And it was a crazy first challenge. The second challenge was the first one, I think, went to Cesar, but it's 2 out of 3. Katiana takes the second. It was 1 bite of food. And the third, she won that one. Third one was 20 minutes, fully composed dish. And she ended up doing this this soup, this cauliflower and roasted cauliflower soup, and potato soup, and it just was too thick. Didn't land a lot of the flavors, and so Tom went with Cesar's dish. That was a pan-seared zucchini slices, kind of like these ribbons. It was beautiful with blueberries. So he's back. Cesar gets his revenge because he comes into this. Last week, he got sent home while Vinny couldn't even give food. Like, they didn't eat his food, and he stayed alive. It was too frozen, and Cesar got sent home.
It was too frozen. I don't know if you remember this meme with Grandpa Simpson when he walks into the building and he puts his hat on and then walks right back out. That's literally what Cesar did. He was in and it was out. I mean, for me, I haven't been keeping up with Last Chance Kitchen, obviously as astute as you have been, man. But it was a little anticlimactic because I felt like I just, I settled with the fact that I lost my second round pick, and then I see him right back, and I'm like, what happened in the past? I don't know. Knowing like how it really goes down, this all happened in the span of like maybe 48 hours or less. Yeah. So these chefs are like getting used to the fact that it's only 6 of them and Cesar's out, and then he's right back in, in the very next challenge. So he literally missed nothing. But no, man, I thought just listening to the recap, Katiana, 3 wins in a row. Last Chance Kitchen is extremely impressive. I say this all the time, man. You roll the dice 100 different times. You might have 100 different options or, variations of who's eliminated first and who actually wins the whole thing. I can see out of that dice roll 100 times, Katiana winning at least 25%. She's so good. She's really, really stout. And seems like she really handled herself very well in LCK. But we have my man Cesar and the Last Chance Kitchen is completely done. It's over. So we're back in it, baby. I'm happy.
Yeah, he's little cucaracha, as he called himself. Cockroach that will not die. So he comes back into the competition. He wins the quickfire, which is very important. The quickfire, I gotta say, looked awful. It looked awful.
I'm with you. The past. All right. Can I go back just one episode? I saw the stunt challenge, and I guess it was supposed to be a shtick. It's supposed to be gimmicky, but I felt it landed a little too hard. It was just way too story. It was just way too much for the challenge, and you're not focusing on the cook rather than you're focusing on like a stunt. But moving fast forward and moving to this week's episode. That's not what you want to see on Top Chef, man. We're doing Top Chef. Like, let the chefs be chefs. Give them a blender. Give them a knife. Why are we doing this, like, one hand behind your back type cooking? It was insane. I hated it. It didn't
make them look good. If anything, it made the chefs look bad. Like when Tristen's doing a roasted hot dog in that like soupy thing, I was like, and he called it a hot garbage plate.
He's straining the soup like a bartender without any tools with two I'm like, bruh, this is not what you want for an
struggle bus for everybody.
Emmy-winning show right here. Like, let the chef shine. It's so far. I mean, I would have totally understood if this was a quick fire in the beginning, kind of get the laughs out, kind of just, but we're closing in on the semifinals, closing in on the semifinals. We're seeing chefs sort of like put their best dishes together. And then this random wrench of a challenge is thrown at them. I wasn't happy with it. I don't think they were neither. But they did a good job. They were good sports.
It's a bodega. It's a Montreal bodega, the Dépanneur. Maze, our Frenchman on the show, he can confirm that. Deps, they're called Deps. And
why
Punky Johnson.
I'm hearing the French music that he plays when he does the Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to Basketball Illuminati, go listen to that and you'll get the full experience. If you want more French cuisine, go listen to Basketball Illuminati for the Rudy Gobert impression. Look, Punky Johnson comes in and she's a great. At least we got a comedian to kind of make light of what was going on.
For sure.
But she said, on my in my dressing room at my set, I decided to take up cooking, and we don't have anything other than a pressure cooker. So not only are you going to be cooking out of a bodega, but you're also not going to have access to any stoves or basically your normal appliances in a kitchen. It's just going to be electrical outlets, but no blender for whatever reason. You're not going to be able to have a blender. So that was just running through the dishes real quick. It's Cesar did the popcorn grits, which did very well. Very smart of him to do that, right? Bailey had this ham that was too dry, so she decided to get rid of it. So she did this like foie pate with apple, candy, and peanuts. Tristen, with no blender, he had to do that peanut soup thing with yakame broth and a roasted hot dog that was just kind of floating in there. Reminded me of Caddyshack. Vinny, the pate and croûte, the Crustable with ham, goat cheese, and pickles.
Yikes.
Lana with the ham and cheese waffle where there was no ham or cheese. That just like, Tom's like, where's the ham? Sorry, what? And she's like, it's in there. Whoops.
He's like, all right.
Okay. Shuai does the croquet monsieur with ham and cheese, fromage. Good hangover dish, apparently. And Massimo does this hybrid pigs and blanket grilled cheese thing with melted cheese and curds and to make mozzarella. There was only one green in the bodega, which was like celery. And so they used the celery leaf to try to garnish up the plates. But man, you said it. It's not just that they did this episode. It's like they did it in one of the final quickfires. You know, this is it.
Yeah, I didn't get it at all. I mean, it was good to see Punky there. It kind of reminded me, actually, you know, as I was away filming for season 3 of Wildcard, man, I was in the trailer and very much the same like Punky, man. All you got is like a tea kettle, you know, some random things to kind of put together that might be on your right or it might not be. And you're hungry and you know, you don't want to walk over to the other side of the set and go to craft. So you got to try to fix something out, you know, by yourself. And yeah, it was wild. I wish that would have happened a little bit sooner. You really want these chefs to kind of be in their stride, especially, here's the thing, especially when all these quick fires matter now. They're being double taxed, essentially, right? Why would you put these chefs in a situation to not put their best foot forward and give them the greatest opportunity to succeed, especially knowing that like everything is being, you know, considered. So I don't know. Wasn't really feeling that, but you know, here we are.
It seems like they sandwiched two different quick fires. One, they were going to do a bodega, but then Punky shows up and she says at the end, she goes, sorry for ruining your show as she exits. And they're like, don't worry, we're going to do better food later tomorrow, you know? And so at least they all recognize that this was not ideal.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's D-I-N-G-S. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's producer Mays here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
You as a chef and as a competitor on the show, did you think about what you would have done?
No. I was more so just
you were like
I
don't want to think about this.
I don't want to think about. Yeah. Let's move on. I was not thinking about any. I was not inspired. How about that? I was not inspired at all. Yeah.
So of those, Cesar's in the wins. He had it was a inventive way to do it. The grits makes a lot of sense. Good texture, tasty. Schwai in the top 3 with it was cheesy, savory, salty. Massimo, it was delicious. But Cesar wins the 10 gram and he moves on. Bailey is in the bottom. Vinny, Lana, just it didn't work. Foie gras and goat cheese with Vinny didn't work. So they go into the elimination challenge. Phew, we made it to the other side. Elimination challenge is you get 3 of Massimo's friends from Montreal with this green roof revolution that they're doing. You have to design your own dish with sustainable ingredients and use the theme of representing the 4 seasons of Canada. Not just Canada, but you know what I'm getting at. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. And Cesar, by virtue of winning Last Chance Kitchen, which is interesting. So you get sent home, but you get an advantage in the in the elimination. He gets to choose which season he wants, and he goes with summer. Eric, what did you think about that? Because I don't know, as a chef, do you have to think about seasonal and what's in season and what is the best season to cook in? What would you have chose?
Spring or fall. I think that transition is always nice because you have a little bit of the other seasons to kind of work with as well, right? So you have 2 seasons. It's kind of like the sandwich. You're in between 2 seasons, and there's also things sort of sprouting at that time as well. So I think going spring or fall and just sort of knowing my comfortability level, I would probably choose spring more than anything. But here's the thing, when you go with winter, and I thought it was a great choice, I get Massimo having that, you have to be bold. You have to be comforting. I think people know exactly what like a winter dish is, probably inherently more than any other season. And I thought that would probably be the most pronounced, dish that any chef could work with. So my heart would probably say spring, but I think working in the winter season would do well as for either chef. So yeah, man, Cesar coming back from the dead like Lazarus, just coming winning some cash on top of it as well. It was good to see him back, and it's nice to have a little bit of pep, a little bit of momentum going into Elimination Challenge. I was actually, in a total 180 from the quickfire, really impressed by the sort of parameters from this challenge. Cooking with sustainability, cooking in season. I thought that was a really, really cool setup by the folks at Top Chef. So I was let down in the beginning, but really excited to see what this elimination challenge had for these chefs.
Do you have a roof garden at Elmina? Have you ever had a roof garden like that?
You know what? No, but I got a new place recently, and we have a roof. And funny enough, me and my daughter started planting. So we have some sunflower seeds. We got watermelon. We got cucumbers, tomatoes, corn, some marigolds as well. So I'm looking forward to getting my green thumb on.
When is the harvest? Like, when are you going to be able to get all the fruits of that labor?
You know what's a good question. I have no idea, man. So I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx, man.
The Bronx. Yeah. I don't have a green thumb either. I don't know.
I got a green thumb, man. So I'll just do my best, ChatGPT it, to make sure I'm watering as much as I can and see what happens.
Let your daughter take the lead on this one, it sounds like.
100%. 100%.
So but before we get into the actual dishes here, they did a little shot. They had some like time, it seemed like, to kind of show them kind of decompressing in the stew room or just hanging out. You had Bailey and Lana teaming up, girl power, saying we gotta work together here. We gotta represent for the women out there. That was cool. Then you had Vinny blowing my mind. Vinny made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then used the top of the jar, of the peanut butter jar, to carve out the circle to make it like a crustable.
The crustable. So it was funny.
I've never seen that move before.
Well, you should have, because you literally watched it 5 minutes
ago.
I know. Like,
it didn't hit.
Did that. It didn't. Yeah, he did the same thing. So I thought it was a callback, like a funny editing callback to his dish earlier. Probably what he would have wanted to make. Like, so he did the crustable with the foie and the goat cheese, literally in the same fashion. So I don't know if you saw him talking about the cookie cutter, right? Like while he was doing the quick fire. But now that he's in the comfort and calm of his, his home, or at least his temporary stay. Yeah, he went ahead and went classic, and that's the way to do it, man. Hence the crustable, man. Take the crust out. Wow. You're going for straight, like really when you make a really good PB&J, you're going straight for the middle anyway. So why don't just go directly? Don't just hit it. But yeah, hit the crustable with the top. Really good move, man. I liked it.
There's a great ESPN the Magazine story about how peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are the lifeblood of the NBA. My friend, my buddy, because they're children. My buddy, Baxter Holmes, wrote this amazing feature where every locker room has stacks and stacks of PB&J. Like, players love it. Like it's very homey. It reminds them of childhood. It gets you your protein. It gets you a little bit of carb. And every NBA team on the road, at home, they have stacks and stacks of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they travel everywhere with them.
I think about like all the different regions, cities, essentially countries too. When you talk about Toronto being in the NBA as well, like what is the most familiar dish universally? And it's probably a PB&J for everyone, right? Everyone sort of has like that experience. So why not just stock the locker room with stuff that, because I'm pretty sure what player, A would like, player B might not like, so let's just go ahead and keep a blank slate or an open slate and just put the PB&J out there for everyone to enjoy. Who doesn't like a PB&J? I mean, come on.
I know. Yeah. I love a good PB&J. KG swears by him. So PB&J and KG. So anyway, Shuai in this little like vignettes that we're getting, these little like features that we're getting, Shawai hid a letter in his luggage, in his baggage, and he found it. I don't know if this was well timed, that the producers stole it, and then, hey, when you need it, we needed a little lift. Hey, look what your wife packed you. And Shawai magically gets this right when he needs it, right before he kind of goes off into this next challenge. And it was a really lovely, heartfelt letter written by his wife. And I'm surprised they even like let us see it and hear it and all this stuff. It was very, what a lovely letter. It was great.
It was.
And Shawai's getting choked up. He's in his feels. And he cooks like the meal of the season. It looked awesome, his dish. And he had winter. He did this like collard green dumpling. Have you seen something like this? Or am I crazy to say that this was really inventive?
It was, but it wasn't, because I feel like this sort of hot pot is something that he grew up eating. He mentioned, his mom and grandma sort of having this dish, or sort of reminiscing to the times where, despite the sort of the woes of communism and growing up in a very poor home, he didn't feel that way, especially from his mom and grandma. So it was a lot of layers of just love all throughout for Shwai today. And especially that letter, man, I was tearing up, man. I was like, dude, that got me right in the heart, man. That was really sweet to listen to. And clearly watching him get emotional behind it was the boost that he needed. But that dish, I would say, we've had some excellent cooking. That, I think, is one of the most beautiful dishes I've seen this season by far. And even though it was very inventive, even though it was very unique, it felt like he mentioned this, felt like he was cooking from home. And the first time he felt like he was cooking, his own dish. He calls himself, or at least his food, sort of like that, a rustic, what does it say? Trashy something last season, rather. Last episode. Yeah. But he makes that like comfort food, but he has a lot of refinement behind it. Shwai is starting to really pick up steam. Actually, all these chefs, and I think it's really cool. I was impressed by Shwai. I was also impressed by Lana as well in the previous episode, and this episode as well. I think I mentioned the last time I was on, just wanted to see her sort of pull out one of her like signature dishes, and I feel like she's starting to do that right now. And really, the rope-a-dope is over, and she's actually being on the offense now. But go back to Shwai, man. That dish looked absolutely insane. And like I mentioned,
so
Massimo,
what do you do? So like you have to tie off like if you do a collard green dumpling, do you have to you have to tie it off with what? Like, is it a stem of a collard green? Like, what do you?
I had no idea what he used specifically. I probably would have used like the rib of the collard green, just to kind of keep it intact. But that also could have been really hard to do as such a dainty dish. Like, you can tell he was spending a lot of time sort of just perfecting each and every one. So like, I'm actually curious, man. I'd love to know what specifically he used to sort of tie everything, but it all paid off, man. It all paid off. He was cooking very homely, but then has some really refined touches as well. And to put that together in a beautiful dish.
Speaking of technique, walk me through a salt crust and what that does for a dish, and what Massimo did for the first time. He broke his own rule, Eric. Man. He did something for the first time using a salt crust for a protein in this episode. So what is the technique there?
Man, I absolutely applauded and loved this move. I love this technique. I did a salt crust. I went to Sitka, Alaska, and I salt crusted a whole salmon. And it was one of the most like juiciest salmons and just cooks ever. So a salt crust is essentially that. So you take kosher salt, and you can do it either a mixture of like water or egg whites, typically both, until it almost feels like wet sand, right? And then you use that wet sand essentially to sort of encase whatever protein or honestly vegetable that you want. And what happens is the moisture it essentially steams inside the salt crust. So it stays very, very moist, whatever it is that you're cooking. But then also, as the pores open up in the protein or the vegetable, a little bit of that salt sort of seeps in, but not overly aggressive, not like over seasoned. It protects everything. So it's a great way to sort of like have not induction, but like a vessel to cook in. and provides flavor. It's a beautiful, dramatic presentation as well when you crack open to it. It's just a really smart move. And again, playing up the winter, man. You think about preserving food, at least in the winter time. I thought using that salt crust, right? Salt, winter preservation. You know what I mean? Like it was just a very, just brilliant. And then on top of it, bro, he plated that to the nine. It was one of the most beautiful dishes, gorgeous presentation. The chicken looked just supple and perfect, and oh my gosh,
so bad.
I wanted to eat that so bad, man. Like Massimo, my hats to you, man. One of the daring moves, especially not doing it ever, but to pull that out, do it successfully, and kudos. Like I said, man, winter is a great option to, and they didn't pick it, but I think it just sort of conveys that feeling the most. And I really like the way they played up the table at the judges table too, with like winter and the spring and everything. This sort of like it was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was really cool. And Massimo, of course, he's such a showman. He's like, it's unbelievable what he does up there at the judges table. He says, it's like winter. It's when you want to eat a little more, drink a little more, make love a little more, and of course slays the crowd. And they're just like, "Who is this guy?" And the only thing that was a knock on that dish was that it felt a little incomplete. That there wasn't like a third element to bring it all together. But still, it looked like probably the tastiest protein or one of the tastiest proteins of the season. So shouts to him, Massimo, on my team, showing out big time. I feel like he would have won this episode if it weren't for Schwei, because that cook was awesome. And also, Eric, the gumption, the stones to have two straight elimination challenges, Eric, where you have this like reveal. Like you don't know if the protein is going to be cooked well. Like he had in the last episode, he had the salmon and croute, and where it was just like, he had to do a Wellington, and he had no idea if it was going to be well cooked or not. Both times he nailed it.
Yeah, he pulled it off. I mean, doing those type of dishes where the result happens literally at the table, during the presentation to the judges is, like you said, man, it takes some stones, man. It takes some real but you got to trust yourself too. And clearly he does, man. He's very confident in his cooking. Even though he's doing stuff for the first time. I love this juxtaposition that's happening between Tristen and Massimo. I think I called it out early in the season. There's a beef, there's a riff, there's a Professor X Magneto situation happening between the two, where it's just like two very, how do I say this? Their minds are very similar, but completely on the opposite ends, right? Like they're both skilled, and it's really, really good to see them sort of come head to head, and I like it, man. I'm not mad at this. I'm thinking about the best rivalries in basketball. I'm thinking about the best rivalries in sports. It's that mano y mano type thing, and I feel like because they have been playing this up since maybe episode 2. Every little win that Tristen has, they always take quick shots at Massimo, and he's kind of giving the side eye because he knows his dish is equally as good. But now that I feel like the tables are turning. Are we, my third eye's open, are we setting us up for a finale with Massimo and Tristen? I think it's happening. I think the editing is sort of steering us this way. And if it does, kudos to the editing team at Top Chef, because they sort of like planted these seeds all throughout this season. And I think it's coming to fruition.
Eric, 4 out of the last 5 episodes, he's been in the top 3. He's been in the high. Massimo is coming on strong.
He's coming on strong. He is. I'm telling you. He is, man. Something's brewing between that storyline, man. I'm just saying, keep your eye open.
I've got my third eye open.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
let's go to Tristen here. Roasted charred Carflex cabbage with spring potatoes, smoked lake fish with roe. It was over-seasoned, apparently. The sauce was over-seasoned, but the potato was under-seasoned. And he had that question from one of the judges who was like, you realize that is like the salty fish roe, right? And he's like, yeah, but I didn't want to use too much of it. That's why I didn't use too much of it. Yeah. I was like, oh no, we're not sending home Tristen. This ain't happening. We're not sending home Tristen. Like, we're not going to do this where Tristen's going to go home for a too salty fish roe and then an under-seasoned potato. But I was nervous for a little bit there, Eric. It dawned on me. I was like, he could be going home. And I was very, very scared.
Absolutely, man. I was as well. And, obviously coming off of the poor quickfire challenges, too, that sort of, I had I was holding my breath a little bit. But here's where I come in, where it's like, does the past equity of your previous wins sort of help you with this? It's so hard to say that you don't do it consciously. I think subconsciously it helps. Right? When you do so well in previous wins and you maybe have like the first kind of like, bad cook, so to speak, are the chefs or the judges rather sort of being very lenient towards your dish? I don't know if that maybe played a part, but I agree, man. It was a beautiful dish. It was really pretty to look at. But I was thinking about that trout roe too, and I was thinking actually more wintertime. I know he explained and he did so eloquently, but my initial thought was trout, winter, potatoes, also winter. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really getting spring vibes, even though it looked visually like spring. The components, or at least the ingredients that he was talking about, didn't really hit on the spring note as much as I thought it would, and how cerebral he has been all season. I thought he would be a little bit more sort of conscious about, how to play up that part. But at this point, man, I think I texted you this earlier. We're at a point in the season now where there's 7 chefs left. Anybody can get it, bro. Anybody, even Tristen. And it's sort of you're grading on a very thin margin now, and everyone has the slightest mistake can put you on the bottom.
Yeah, and I don't think he's lucky that Vinny didn't finish his dish and didn't land it. I don't know if he would have been sent home. So Lana, let's talk about Lana. So the dish, I remember when she plated it, I was like, ooh, I don't think they're going to love the presentation on that dish.
Same.
It just felt, it didn't feel, I know this is the wrong way to say it, but it didn't feel chefy. It just felt like there wasn't much of a inventive way of the design of the presentation. And that shouldn't count for everything. But I was like, ooh, that could be delicious, but it doesn't look as beautiful as, say, Shawai's dish or Tristen's dish, or as elegant as Vinny's dish. Now, it tasted great, but the textures, the spatzel kind of got lost in the mix there, as Tom was talking about. But everything worked. Like, it was a delicious dish. It just was one note, both texture and visually. And so she's in the bottom, but like, I would hate to see her go home for something that tasted great, And so it did taste great. Her butternut squash spatzel with sauteed kielbasa and sauerkraut juice, and apples. So it felt a little heavy, one note, but she doesn't get sent home for that.
I think the thing that was her saving grace was just the ingredients that she used. The apple, the sauerkraut, the butternut squash. These are all beautiful fall like ingredients. You know what I mean? And Tom mentioned like there's 2 parts to this challenge. It's using the season, but it's also cooking a good dish as they expect. So, if anybody's sort of like played the part as far as taking the ingredients and using them the best way, I definitely think Lana's up there for sure, despite the the visual appearance of the dish.
And the other woman, Bailey, she has a very strong, aggressive dish here. Squash agrodolce with crispy polenta, smoked labna, Brussels with Calabrian chili. One of the guys, he said it hit him like a baseball bat. I was like very curious, like I hate that we can't taste these dishes, but Eric, like what do you think hit like a baseball bat? What was she describing in there that or what was in that dish that you were like, oh yeah, that's the acidity or something like that?
Yeah, the agrodolce is it's a really pungent sort of sweet, spicy. It's a vinegar-based sauce, right? So you're taking vinegar and you're taking Calabrian chili, and you're adding a spice to it. So immediately you're going to be hit with spice and acid, essentially. And it actually sounds like a dish that I would love to like eat. Like out of all the dishes that I heard, that Bailey's dish was one of the dishes. I'm like, man, if I saw that on the menu, yeah, like I picked that. That's the dish I'd probably pick, on a tasting menu or on a la carte or whatever. So I thought it was just, no pun intended, it was punchy, and it needed to be. And I thought at least it sounded, and I agree with you, man. I wish I was there to taste, but it sounded like it was really, really good. Maybe just overly seasoned, overly aggressive by hair, but either way, man, you gotta be memorable, and big flavors stay memorable. And I think Tom enjoyed it, so that was great.
Yeah, Cesar does this summer corn gazpacho. The pistachio cream that was kind of infused into the tomato that he smoked, with the poached lobster, which he was safe because he won the quickfire. I wasn't loving this dish from Cesar. He's always so inventive and like off the wall thinking. I think in the Last Chance Kitchen, he made a dish that Tom didn't even know what he was eating. Like there was a blind taste test where he had to make something. They did a blind. We've advocated for this before. Is like why they should do more blind taste tests. And he does this gougere with blue cheese and white chocolate. And Tom's eating it, and he's like, I don't know what I'm eating right now. And he like does these off the wall things. We saw the salmon cappuccino and the dill pickle ice cream. And this one I was fine with. The judges were fine with it. He was in the bottom, but because he was so good in the quickfire, he gets a free pass. I put him in the middle in the scoring here. I didn't get him on the bottom, but summer flavors didn't really come all that through. The pistachio kind of was distracting. Anything here that was notable for you on Cesar, the corn gazpacho?
No, I mean, same thing with you, man. Underwhelmed. But that's the thing when you go like these really inventive and creative routes, man. You're either gonna make a mark, whether it's gonna be super memorable in a good or bad way. You know what I mean? And I feel like it probably landed on its face, and not so good of a way with Cesar. His dishes are extreme. He's Willy Wonka, man. He's the WD. Of the space, and sometimes I feel like his dishes, the ones that don't work, if he went it back in the cutting room floor and edited it, he could probably come out with like a really, really tasty dish. But it's these high risk, high reward moves right now, and it seems like it works for him in one episode and it doesn't work for him the next.
You pouring one out for Vinny?
My guy, Vincenzo, man. I am, bro. It's wild because I thought last week's episode with the stunts, that was like up his lane. I was like, the two chefs that should absolutely star in this challenge is Vinny and Cesar, right? The most like off the cuff, let me put a story, let me put a gimmick behind it. Vinny came back today and didn't do as well. His dish, underwhelming, a lot of technical errors, it seems like, and my first round draft pick, man. It's sad to see him go. But he cooked well, man. He made it this far. It's pretty something. It's something to be proud of for sure.
Ran out of time. That's tough. Ran out of time. Yeah. Didn't get his garnish on there. The purple radish that brightened up the dish. And so if you didn't get that, you noticed it. So a few of them didn't get it. Also, the story wasn't there. For the first time, Vinny just doesn't have a good story with his dish. He's always coming in with this creative, clever by half story that wows the chefs and wins the day. Not this time with his Chinese influence. Did not see Vincenzo at 20 years old deciding on my birthday I'm going to go to China.
Hold a panda.
Hold a panda. That was great. And he gets sent home for his lamb dumplings with morel mushrooms, enoki mushrooms, raw, and shuck peas. Where I love that. The sound of that dish sounds great. It didn't make sense with the whole summer theme. He ran out of time. And it apparently was very funky. It like had this smelly funk to it. and
Yeah.
they didn't like that any. And this one hurts on a level that I probably don't appreciate. But when Tom says in his critique, anyone can make this dish, I was like, oh man, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Tom sneaks in some really low blows, man, sometimes, bro. But yeah, man, Vinny, I think what also threw him off is the fact that he didn't finish his dish and he had to, think of a story. I think his whole sort of just mind was just like on the plates that didn't, that weren't complete, excuse me. And, he just was sort of, you can tell he was very hot and bothered that entire time as he was in front of the judges, man. It's tough. It was tough to see. You never want to see a chef go out in those sort of circumstances, but, them's the breaks, man. You got to finish. Everybody has the same time.
Yeah. Eric, you got to leave more often. I'm on a roll here on the fantasy stuff. I am back, baby.
I knew that was coming.
I've won the last 3 weeks. I've got 11, 17, and 16 the last 3 weeks. You've had 9, 6, and 6. So you lose Vinny from your squad. You've got 3 chefs. I've got 3 chefs. The top scorer right now is Tristen, obviously, with 64 points. Massimo with 39, Shuai with 36, Cesar with 24, Bailey 23, and Lana, the last member on my team, with 20. So the overall score, Eric, you got 126. I got 119. This is going down to the last second, man. I thought
I was running away with this, but clearly, I need to be back here more often, kind of bring some luck to my team because I don't know what in the world is happening over the past couple of weeks, but it's all good. I'm back. Daddy's home and we'll be all right.
Yeah. Katiana was my Jason Tatum. You gotta, I thought she was coming back. She's not. That was my number 1 overall pick. I lost her, but you know what? We're like the Celtics against the Knicks. We're putting up a fight. All right. This is a lot closer than you wanted it to be, Eric.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. There's grit behind my team, just like the New York Knicks, man. We're playing like it's the 90s out here. We got blood on our faces. We're diving for balls. We're out here trying to just win. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even see that when Luke Cornett clipped him. I was like, when did he get hit?
When did that happen? My mom actually called it out. She's like, somebody's bleeding profusely. I was like, what?
Man, that was crazy. Next week, Calgary. I don't know anything about Calgary, so it looks like a bucking bronco breakfast or something like that, cowboy type thing. And then they're going to have looks like a beef elimination challenge. We haven't seen much steak or beef in this season, so I guess they were saving it for this one.
Oddly enough, you're right. No, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I know about Calgary is the hockey team.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's all my knowledge. So I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about more parts of Canada, more about these chefs. And man, it's going down to the wire, bro. It's 6 left. Anybody's game. We're closing in on the finale, and my team is looking strong. I got Tristen, I got Cesar, I got Bailey, and man, I think it's. Listen, I called it out earlier.
Yeah.
Tristan's killing it, but Massimo right now is coming back in a very serious and aggressive way. So I'm excited to see how it goes down.
That's right. All right. For Eric Adjepong, Tom Haverster, this is Pack Your Knives.
Knicks in 6, baby.